Okay. There you go. I just took my pre-workout, so I have however many minutes to finish journaling before I'll stop doing this when I get all jittery and I have to go to the gym. The reason I'm doing it in the morning is actually because, one, I tried it last night and it was horrible. I didn't like it, as in I didn't feel like I expressed myself correctly to myself, not to you. Oh, and the shot was ugly. I tried a top-down shot and I was on the floor, but then all the blood was rushing to my head, so I just kept getting like more tomato-y as it went. A little odd. Anyways, I gave myself actually like a fucking headache from the amount of blood I sent to my brain. So I'm doing it this morning, and the reason I'm doing it this morning instead of waiting until later is because the past 3 days, I had insane ADHD paralysis. I've just been like sitting here or sitting there, or laying down there, and unable to do anything. And right now I'm dealing a lot with like ADHD paralysis, anxiety, depression's making a comeback in a non-fun way. And I hate it, but I'm actually like right now, right this moment, feeling the most like man damage that I've felt. Like it's like peak of all the toxic masculinity things that I've been taught are currently going on in my mind. And it's bugging me, like I'm really struggling with it. One, I find it hard to explain to people what ADHD paralysis is. Not because they can't make sense of it, because it makes sense. I tell you I'm frozen. I'm stuck, you know? But it's so hard to actually explain because a lot of my life, you know, when I was a kid, and I say this a lot, and I'll keep saying this a lot in journals because, well, if I'm trying to make sense of my mind, a lot of my early life is the reason for why things are now, and a lot of my early life was very damaging. Lots of trauma, lots of really shit situations, and lots of really shit people. So a lot of my life when I was a kid, all it was I was called lazy, you know? Wow, you'll just sit there and stare at the thing, and you'll wait until you have 5 minutes to do it, and then you'll do it. Can you tell it's my stepdad's voice? He's not my stepdad anymore, but. Just that. You won't amount to anything if all you do is wait. If all you do is freeze and do nothing. When ADHD paralysis is so much more than wanting. In fact, it's literally the opposite. We want it so fucking bad that it literally freezes us. Like, I know I have to do the thing, and I want to do the thing because I don't want to disappoint anyone, because I've disappointed everyone in my life. And that's kind of what we do. We disappoint a lot of people with ADHD because they expect us to be neurotypical, I guess. And so when we don't behave that way, they end up disappointed. We don't end up fulfilling their needs or their asks, their demands. And so like when I know I have something to do, I want to do it. I really want to do it because I don't want to disappoint. I don't want people to look at me the way they've always looked at me when I fail, when I can't do the thing. And a lot of that ends up building even like anxiety, because it's like this fucking cycle, you know? First, I'm frozen. I'm like, I know I got to do the thing. And I'm like, and then I don't end up doing it because I'm paralyzed. And then I get anxious about the fact that I'm not doing it. And then this anxiety or panic attacky, depending on the severity of it, fucking puts more pressure on the doing. And then when I get to the doing, I'm more paralyzed. And it's a fucking cycle. It feels like shit. This one's long. It's been a while since I've had a 3-day long ADHD paralysis. Usually it's like a day or two. But it was 3 days, 3 whole days. And today's day 4. And I'm not currently paralyzed, but also it's morning. All I have to do is go to the gym so far. And then I got to get on doing the other shit, you know? I'm already surprised I'm doing this. And the only way I have to explain, ADHD paralysis is, you want to do the thing. Like, you have a thing to do, you want to do it, and you're at this chair and you're right in front of the keyboard and you have to type, right? Except your hands are tied to the fucking chair. And so no matter how much you look at the keys, the words won't type themselves. No matter how much you're looking, you're considering, hey, what if I fucking smack my head on it? But that doesn't work either, And then with some time, when your hands end up untied, all of a sudden your brain can't come up with the words. All of a sudden your hands are on the keys and your brain's like, what would I type? What do I want to type? What? There's no words. There's nothing to type. And then you're just frozen there again. But this time, disappointed at yourself. The first part, you're tied up. It's not you. It's like something else holding you back. But now, when everything's in your power, and you're the reason it doesn't fucking work. And that's where the toxic masculinity that I was taught kind of kicks in. That's only a part of it, but I lost that thought. I'm sorry. This is gonna happen a lot, okay? It's my ADHD, but I lose thoughts. Actually it came back because I was about to talk shit about myself, and that's exactly the thought. It's like, I was taught to judge myself, It's like all the voices you're told, all the things you're told as a kid, all the people giving you shit as a kid and growing up and, while you're becoming your own person, all the things that people say to you and kind of smack into you end up being the voice in your head when you're an adult. All the things I'm saying to myself now are things that were told to me when I was younger. All the negative talk I have is all fucking stuff that they used to say to me back then, except now it's my voice. Except now I'm the person being so mean to myself. So this ADHD paralysis thing, I'm mean to myself because I consider myself a failure when this happens. And the thing about it is, like, failure is good. Failing is good. When you try something and you fail, you learn. That's fucking amazing. I actually do believe that. Like, genuinely, I need the things that I try, I need them to kick me in the ass. So I go, okay, shit, that doesn't work, And then I can learn. But this type of feeling of failure is not that, because there's no learning. Not because I can't learn, it's because there isn't a thing to learn. The thing is my body. It's the way it is. Well, that's not true. The thing to learn isn't the how to do the thing. The thing to learn is how to accept myself. Fuck, man. I wish I could tell you I knew that point that I just made before I started saying the sentence before it, but I didn't. That's what saying these things out loud kind of does. It helps me all of a sudden make sense of my stupid thought. It's a really bad echo chamber in my mind, right? There's all my thoughts, my negative thoughts, all the negative thoughts that were told to me. And there's a tiny voice that's me fighting for myself. But when I say it out loud, whether it's in therapy or here, then that voice has a bigger chance. It's like I put the negative talk out, and that voice in my mind, the kind voice, has a chance to be louder. And then I can match it, which helps. Now, because of the ADHD paralysis and the anxiety, there's been a fair bit of depresso showing up as well. And that's been mainly because if I can't do the things I have to do, what the fuck am I, And yet again, one of the things that was put on us as men, and specific, on me as a man, was like, you are what you're good for, Your value comes from what you give, what you bring. I wasn't really taught to just be valued for being. I wasn't just valued for who I was, for just, oh, hey, you're a really good human, or you're a human. That's great. I was like, you're a human if you can keep up with the shit, which in my case, I wasn't able to keep up with the shit. So wasn't very valued, and I have a hard time valuing myself because of that. I have a hard time valuing myself when I do nothing. Like the past few months, right? Of course I was on a trip, but even before the trip, the past like almost year at this point, I really slowed down my social media stuff. And it was one, because I was confused. I didn't quite know what I want to make. I didn't quite know what I felt drawn to. And social media is a whole fucking beast on its own. Like, it's not like I know what I want to post, like what I can post. Because I'll post something that is supposed to work and then it doesn't. Or I'll post something that's for me. And then at least the for me makes me happy. But the amount of times that I don't know what I want to post for me is like so much. And usually because I get ADHD fucking paralysis. Because I pressure myself on having to do something, having to post. Hey, this is your job. If you want to make this, if you want to do this, if you want to succeed. And social media tells you, oh, if you want to succeed, you got to be able to post every day, or you got to be able to keep up the most steady like schedule. Look, this is my third one. And the second episode was 4 days ago. It's like everything is made for neurotypicals. And so finding what to post, when to post, it causes me even more paralysis. Because I'm like, fuck, man, now there's this pressure. I can't keep up with the amount of times I have to do it. I can't keep up with the platform itself. The algorithms keep changing. And these platforms are really not helping us either. That's something I'm realizing a lot with social media, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm not whining because I'm lucky as fuck. This is my job. Holy shit. What the fuck? I never thought that would be possible either, you know? Somehow it's been possible. And it'll be almost 4 years of content creation, which is fucking insane. For me, I mean, content creation. But the platforms keep changing like nonstop, and they don't tell you why. It's kind of like, honestly, it's so weird how similar to my early trauma it is. Having disappointment in you, or just not letting you know that you didn't do it well, but not telling you why. And social media, platform isn't disappointed in me, but I'll post and then they'll be like, oh, that's not what we're looking for, you know? They're changing the algorithms everywhere. They're changing the needs, the goals, the targets on every platform. But the thing is, they do it to bring change, which, okay, that's all good. Okay, I'm gonna mute this section because I have to sorry. Oh, fuck. I was almost gonna sneeze, but it didn't happen. My bad. Yeah, they changed the system, right? They'll be like, we got to change the algorithm because they have a goal, they have a target, and I totally get it. But then they don't go and tell creators, hey, by the way, you're on here, you're on this platform, we value your content that you create for us. Here's where the changes are if you want to keep up, Here's what you can do. No, instead it's like, figure it out. Oh, and if you can't, you fucking fail. And it is so hard for anyone, not just ADHD. I was gonna say it's so hard for people with ADHD, but honestly, it's hard for anyone to keep up with that. To have constant change and not know why, or not know what to change, not know how to follow, It's like a constant game of catch up when you keep thinking, I just wanna be a part of this, but somehow you're like behind the group running, trying to catch up, trying to keep up. So all of these things really fucking add to my ADHD paralysis. Because there's so many pressures. I'm telling you, before I started this, the Inner Insights series, I wasn't quite driven for anything. Like my content for a while was pretty I'll do it because I like it. I still like what I make, everything else, my mental health stuff on TikTok and Quinn Audios, I still like what I do. But my heart wasn't going yeah, that's what I want, And then this I do for me, and I'm like, yeah, that is what I want. That's what I want. And even that, I managed to terrify myself for 3 days. But it is what I want, because that's as close to me as I can get. I wanted to do that on YouTube way before it was even a thing. Just post a long ass video like this, sitting, one shot, just talking mental health, sharing my thoughts. That's literally what I do on TikTok, except it was a minute long. But that's always what I've wanted to do. Just simple, very subtle. And YouTube wasn't the place for that before, but thanks to Sam Sulek and then everybody else that kind of followed the movement of like slowing things down, not being so obnoxious with the edits. That's kind of opened up a door. And I'm glad I'm seizing it, because honestly, this is the one place where I'm like, fuck, yes. And maybe that's why I put so much pressure on myself. Maybe that's why I paralyzed myself for it. Because I was like, holy shit, something I like, oh my God, I gotta keep up. Like, as I do this, there is a second voice in the back of my mind constantly going, are you doing it for the video or are you doing it for yourself? And that one's bugging me a lot. But it's also a really useful reminder, because I need to do it for me, because the whole point is just me journaling. You're just lucky you get to tag along for the ride. But I'm not doing this for you. This isn't content. This needs to be just for me. The other part, and that kind of flows nicely here, but the other part of toxic masculinity that kind of shows up is the validity of my feelings. See, I have a lot of feelings right now. One, about my paralysis, about anxiety, about my fucking depresso showing up again. And I question the value of my emotions. I question like, yeah, but is it worth saying it to anyone? Is it worth bugging anyone with this? Like even this, you know, like, is it fucking worth to do, not just do like make a video with it, but it's more like I'm afraid of the words I say, because I'm like, what if my emotions aren't shit? The answer is that's not true. I know, and I'm learning. You know, my conscious mind, the one that is currently my today mind, knows my emotions are valued, that they're important, that my state of mind matters no matter what it is. But I still struggle with asking anyone to care or to change. You know, it's like, okay, look, I'm not doing good, but I can't ask help. That's not true. Once again, I have therapy, right? I have a therapist. But let's just say right now, I have therapy once a week. And right now, right this moment, I kind of wish I had 2 or 3 sessions this week alone. You know? But it's the kind of thing where I can't reach out to anyone. Like if you ever see a video anywhere talking about how men can't reach out and they don't have a place to reach out, it's kind of true, because when you do, you're like, one, it scares the fuck out of people, okay? As a man, if I reach out, they know what the meaning of it is. They know what's behind it. And then their emotions get involved. And it makes sense. It's totally normal. It's not that, you know, no one should have emotions getting involved. But when they start fearing for what could happen, then it's like, it gets extra tricky, because I'm like, I don't want to fucking worry anyone. I'm already painful enough to myself. I don't want to bring that to someone else. Plus, I think ultimately you shouldn't worry if a man reaches out. You should worry if he doesn't. Because when they reach out, they're already not doing the thing you're afraid they might do. They're reaching out. That's like steps ahead. It's when they can't reach out, when they choose to just bottle it up. I want it to be clear that I don't think ending things is the answer, right? I don't think that. I've been like dealing with severe depression and anxiety all my life, along with ADHD. So my mind goes there, but my conscious mind knows that it's not the way. And I've already saved myself the one time. And when I did, because once again, I saved myself and no one else did, I knew that if I could, the one time I got so close, then it's not gonna happen. I won't be the one doing it, right? But it's this thing. I'm afraid to ask for anyone to change their behavior. For anyone to like come and take care of me. For even saying it out loud is terrifying. Saying come and take care of me, like you're a man, you're supposed to take care of yourself. I clearly struggle. It's like this whole ADHD paralysis thing on one side, and the other side is wishing someone would take care of me. I know how bad it is. I'm fucking paralyzed. But also, I was kind of taught no one's going to take care of you other than you. And that's what society's kind of proven anyways. As much as it shouldn't be like that, but it's kind of that. But on the other side is knowing that I maybe wouldn't struggle so much with that if I had help. But how the fuck do you ask for that? And no, because I feel like it's asking too much. But then it's not giving value to my feelings and needs. That's not too much. It's just a normal amount. But it's like this constant debate happening in my mind anyways. And all that happens while I sit right here. Look out the window. So the whole time I'm just paralyzed. Thinking back and forth between things. I don't know. This series is picking up a little bit of steam. Like, I don't know why, but YouTube has been pushing the first 2 videos in a way that's not usually like how it happens with my channel. And that adds to the pressure, because then I'm like, fuck, if YouTube's pushing it and if people get attached to this, what if I can't keep up? What if my videos end up being too dark? Or I don't know, what if the message doesn't click? But then I want to put it out there, it won't. The message won't click, and some of the videos will be too dark. Maybe some of them are gonna be funny sometimes. I'll have good days. I don't have negative thoughts every fucking day. So I'll have good days where I journal, and it'll be like, yo, today was funny as shit, you know? But a lot of them will be dark. And a lot of them won't have the most amazing point that clicks with you. And so that terrifies me, because there's once again a system that says this is how it should be, and I can't keep up with it. So I'm just telling you now, maybe get attached to this series, but don't get attached for the reason you think. You know, if you can enjoy the series and this is something that does something good to you, then great. But allow me the same way I allow myself, and I have to allow myself to not nail it. I gotta do just my best for me. Like I this whole series, the reason I can keep going at it and the reason I am focused on that before everything else is because it's for me. It's just me journaling. It's just me finally listening to my own thoughts, giving them value, giving them enough value that I think, oh, maybe other people want to listen. My heart's starting to pound a lot, so I have to go soon. Yeah. It's tough being, I guess like I'll try to make one final point, but it's kind of tough being a man. I know it's probably an argument we've heard so much, but we need to keep hearing it, because obviously so many of us are still struggling. And I'm lucky I'm one of the guys that's like actually able to talk, you know? I don't have to bottle up anymore. That's already great. And I get to talk and I get to share it. So it's tough being a fucking guy, man. It's just society puts so much pressure on us and against us. Like literally, and I think that's one of the causes of my ADHD paralysis too, is everything is always work. As a man, I wasn't taught you're valuable because you're you. I was taught you're valuable because of what you bring, because of the work you do, because of what you offer others. You know, how useful you are is your value. It wasn't just you have value. You're human. You have value. It was you have value if you do something for others. You have value if you work so hard at life. Then you'll be allowed to have a good time. Work so hard and then you'll have a good time. And I think on top of that, there's like being a man and being a man with ADHD and neurodivergent in general. Because my whole life has been so much work just to keep up, just to barely be there, barely be enough. I had to work to be the most neurotypical looking person, not even knowing I was neurodivergent, but I had to work so hard to be like everybody else. And I had to work so hard to be a man and have value and be good to others or be useful. And that's why I think it kicks in with ADHD paralysis. It's just because I'm so tired of work. And when I say work, I don't mean just work for money. I mean just working. Like the amount of effort and work that goes into everything is nonstop. And when I rest, when I do nothing, which I have done, don't get me wrong, right? My life is literally so much easier now than it's always been, than it's ever been. I barely have to work. I'm allowed to freeze. Like I'm literally in a lucky enough situation that I can be paralyzed here for hours, for days. And my life isn't thrown like upside down. You know, it's not flipped upside down. It's not crumbling. So I'm lucky. But that's why I dropped the ball on like all the content stuff. One, yes, there's a question of like keeping up, but two, it's just this, like I took the time, right? I did way less. And still I wasn't allowing myself to just be like, hey, look, you don't have to work so much. No, instead the whole time I took my time, I was hard on myself, going like, hey, you gotta deal with this mental health thing soon enough, because you gotta get back to working. That's where you're useful. You gotta get back to doing all this hard work. And right now, which doesn't help my depresso state, is I don't really have a path ahead. And all I see ahead is work, you know? It's like when there's a path, the work has a purpose. When I know where I'm going, when there's a set target, then the work makes sense because it's like, that's how I get there. But right now, it's almost like I'm kind of aimless, like targetless. And so the work just seems like work. And that pisses me off, like that hurts. That doesn't make me want to do it whatsoever. Because it's already, I gotta work if I want something. So when I don't know what I want, but I still gotta fucking work, it's like, fuck. It's nonstop. And the problem isn't just the amount of work. Yes, that's one of the problems, but it's also being directionless. No matter what I question about life, I know that my path is acting. Like storytelling is the one thing in life that's ever made me feel something completely different, magical. Like I don't even know how to explain that either, but it's been a long time since I've had that, but I've had these moments after a scene or on set, and it's just this like, feels like I'm in space. I'm flying on top of the world. It's like this fucking incredible feeling that storytelling brings, like being in a character and doing a scene and then hearing cut and just like, holy fuck, that was incredible. Like that feeling has never been matched by any other thing. So I know acting is my path. But that one's like, you know, nothing's set, nothing's loud. Like nothing's like, oh, do this, and you get there. You just keep working, keep getting better, keep telling stories. But it's hard to feel like there's a direction. And that's for everything acting. So take away acting, there's still the rest of your life. And then I'm like, what the fuck's my direction there? I genuinely have no clue what my direction is with social media. I'm just kind of lucky to make it so far. That's the way I see it. I'm just lucky that I get to do this. That I somehow have the skill set, that I somehow have the message sometimes. That I somehow have you. watching, listening, getting something out of it. Because in a way, this feels like the most reverse thing of what I was taught to do anyways. I was taught to be selfless, be a man, be selfless, just be useful to everybody else. Don't fucking focus on you. And this is just me fucking talking. So not only do I feel like, yes, I am bringing value to you, but I also feel like I'm full of shit because it's just me talking. How does that have value? How does it have value? It's just me. I wasn't taught that me is valued and has value. And so it is, even that is a conflicting thing. And this whole mountain of everything I talked about. Hold on, there's a cop. It won't be long. Okay. Nope. Okay. Pretty much the whole mountain of thoughts that I just shared. It's almost like every single time I have ADHD paralysis, all of that and more kicks in. All of it. So this war, this everything, this felt like a lot. That's just all the time. It's my mind all the time. And when all that's going on in your head, it's really hard to ask anybody else to care. Because it's exhausting as shit to me. Why would I ask anyone else to be exhausted? Now, I've said all these things, but I want to be clear. I'm actively working on asking. I'm constantly questioning. 1, where is it okay to ask? 2, why wouldn't I ask? 3, these feelings have values. No, they have value. They are meaningful. They mean something. They are legitimate. So I don't want you to think that I'm saying, hey, that's just how it is for us, because it's not. We can work on that. It's fucking hard. We can work on that. Oh my God, and there is more work. It's fucking hard, but we can unlearn all the bullshit. That's kind of what I hope this does. Helps me open up to it, helps me learn more with it. I don't know. The whole concept of failure pisses me off too, because I'm thinking about this and I'm like, did you make a good point? And I'm like, that's not the fucking point. I'm just journaling. When I journal, I don't always need to make a good point. I just need to put my thoughts and emotions out. I need to put them out because inside they're hell. And at that, I succeeded. I put them out and I feel much less like hell than before I said them out loud. Sometimes that's all you gotta do. Just put them out. Write them, say them out loud. Record a voice note. Just anything so that the thoughts they're not bouncing inside the echo chamber of your mind. Because those thoughts are always the same. And as long as they're bouncing in there, they don't have a chance to be countered. But when you put them out, then the other voices in your mind have a chance, It's like, imagine trying to get a word in while flubber is bouncing everywhere. It's a little tricky. Flubber's fucking bouncing. But if flubber is thrown outside for a second, then there's a chance to say something to maybe help. And then when flubber comes back, it's met with whatever surface that won't help it bounce so much. It's met with pillows, because that's what those thoughts are meant to be, right? The kind ones. Pillows, cushions. Yeah. So if you struggle with ADHD paralysis, or depresso, or being a man, which honestly is totally fine if you're not either. That's not a, this video wasn't targeted at anyone. It's targeted at you. Just you. But if you have any of these, I know it's hard. Because it's hard for me. And I want to say, ooh, it's easy for, like, not easy, but I want to say, like, and it matters and people will care. Go ahead and reach out. But literally the whole video was me going on about how I don't even know how I can do that myself. So just know we're not alone, but our thoughts and feelings are legitimate. Yeah. Okay. This microphone is chilling on my chest. And at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if you've been hearing my heartbeat. But I gotta hit the gym. I gotta go do the man thing, which is be physical so that, I don't know. But at least that helps. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one, hopefully tomorrow, but as we've seen, I'm not really good at keeping up with that. So just take care of you and I'll see you when I see you, okay?